Please drop, please drop. Come on, this time it's gotta drop. Nope, no it did not. Okay, let's try this again. No problem. Okay, this time it's gonna drop. Drop. Okay, no, no, it's fine. It's fine. All right, this time I'm feeling it. It's definitely gonna drop this time. It's All right, you know what? I think I'm just gonna do the alternative form here. There's another build we can do. Now this is peak Ascension gameplay right here. Hey everyone, Shikari, Dill here. Sorry it's been a while since my last video. I've honestly just been spending a lot of my free time, well, playing Season 8 to be honest. It's been a lot of fun. But this video, I'm going to be talking about my thoughts on my version of the Curse of Arugal build. Now this is a build that lets you cast basically shadow spells in cat form, aka Worgen form in this. So it's kind of a fun build, but the question remains, is it any good? Well, I have my own thoughts and opinions on this build that I would like to share with you guys, so stick around for that. And if you really like my Ascension content and you like what I do, then I'd appreciate it if you hit that like and sub button, and let's jump right into this. Well, how did I get here with the Worgen form build as my first official build? Well, basically, I was looking for serpent form. So I started off strategically as a bear, and if you didn't know, taking shapeshifting mastery will make it so taking both bear and cat form does not count against your odds of getting more epics or cost ability essence, so that's great. So I figured why not, I'll just tank my way to 60, no problem. Which I did so, and it was fine, although I found out that early on, doing Battlegrounds was actually the quickest way to get to max level. So I basically went from level 30 to 60 as a bear tank in Battlegrounds, so that was fine. Once I hit level 60, from there I was off to the races, farming Wailing Caverns for the fabled serpent form over and over and over, and you get the idea. So I decided, screw it, I'm going to do at least one new cat form build for my first build, so I set off on an epic adventure for the legendary Worgen form, and it was absolutely... And yeah, you know, it was alright, until this guy, right when it was my turn, decided to cut me off and take my orb. No. Bad. Bad Kalash. You either respect the line or you die by it. And the line chose death. Right, so we finally have our Curse of Arugal, but what does it actually do? Well, you don your furry costume by becoming a Worgen. This will replace your cat form. You can cast Shadow Word Death, Pain, Devouring Plague, Vampiric Touch, and Mind Blast while in Worgen form. Using your combo point spenders will make your next Vampiric Touch or Mind Blast instant and scale with 10% of your attack power. Using Mind Blast will give you a buff called Goldrin's Focus, which will make your next Mind Flay or Mind Sear do its full damage quicker and hit harder. Goldrin's Fury will replace Tiger's Fury and give you a nice shadow damage buff, and Mind Flay will reduce the cooldown of this Goldrin's Fury, which will be extremely helpful with energy and damage. So this build is interesting, it's got a great concept, a great theme, and it really does have moments where it can be a lot of fun to play. But ultimately, I think this build falls a little bit short for me, and I'll explain why. This build really needs a lot of talent points in order to work or at least feel a little bit smoother than it currently does. And I suspect this build will feel a lot better in TBC when we get more talent points. Because you're really going to have to choose your talents wisely, which will impact your rotation of the spec. Do you want to focus on maintaining your cat bleeds and having your cat form abilities deal more damage? Well, that'll take a lot of talents away from your Shadow Priest tree. Or would you rather spec heavy into the Shadow Priest tree, ensuring your shadow damage hits harder? I personally spec heavy into the Shadow Priest tree for my version of this build, and I suspect many people will do that over the Feral tree stuff. But that does take away from, you know, the resource management of energy and combo points, and overall I feel like just makes the cat form abilities feel a little bit clunkier and, you know, obviously not as hard hitting. Realistically, it's going to be very difficult to maintain your cat form bleeds as well as your shadow dots, so in my version of this build, I just completely dropped the bleed aspect from the feral stuff, and I basically just spam Mangle and use Ferocious Bite to get that instant cast Mind Blast. Even with focusing on only the shadow side of things, it did feel a little bit clunky because Vampiric Touch, you want to maintain that after making instant cast after using all of your combo points. which is great, except you really want to be using Mind Blast as well for the Mind Flay buff. So it becomes this awkward game of having to generate as many combo points as possible just to refresh your Vampiric Touch and then get an instant cast Mind Blast in between. That makes this build very energy dependent and can be very easy to become energy starved. Luckily, Tiger's Fury, aka Goldrin's Fury, will help with your resource management. We also have great enchants that work well with helping with this issue, like Restorative Shadows that can be stacked up to 3 times to have our Mind Blast restore 30 energy, which is quite a big deal. Talents along with their enchants like Vigor and Vitality will help tremendously as well with energy management. However, I found that the absolute best way to make this build feel smoother and just not clunky for me is to simply not cast and maintain Vampiric Touch. I know it sounds crazy, but I just like to use my instant cast on Mind Blast instead. I feel like I end up doing a little bit more damage, seeing as the other 2 dots more than make up for the lack of Vampiric Touch. So the rotation for my version of this build looks something like this. I apply and maintain Shadow Word Pain as well as Devouring Plague. I spam Mangle till 5 combo points, and then I use Ferocious Bite. I use my instant cast Mind Blast and then follow it up with a quick Mind Flay. Now, I wasn't lucky enough to roll Mind Seer, but for AoE situations, you would want to use your buffed up Mind Seer as well as Swipe. For epic enchants, there are quite a few choices that are actually pretty good with this build. Impending Doom is an epic enchant that slots perfectly for this build, as it has your Mind Blast or Shadow Word Death increase the amount of damage they take from your shadow dots by 20%. If you were wanting to use Vampiric Touch with your version of this build, Psychic Influence would be a great epic enchant to take. It basically makes it so your Mind Flay has the target take more damage from your Shadow Word Pain and Vampiric Touch while it's channeling. If you were looking to get more AoE damage out of your build, you could take Unbounded Mind Flay, which gives you a big AoE, Frontal Cone Mind Flay, which is pretty cool. I actually think the new World Forge enchant Disease Cloud could slot in pretty well with this build, but good luck having it drop, because I was farming it for a few hours until somebody walked in and said they were on Abomination number 2000. And I kind of just noped out at that point. Not sure if that's real or not, but regardless, you could go out and farm for this enchant. It could slot in pretty nicely. Overall, this is a really cool and unique take on a cat build, and I do enjoy it. I do think it feels a bit clunky, but with some fiddling with the talents and rotation, I do think you can smooth it out and have a really good time with it. I think the Curse of Arugal build is deserving of a 3 out of 5 marks of Ascension. Thanks so much, guys, for watching this video. I really appreciate all of your guys' support. If you want to catch me live, go follow me over on my Twitch page, where I'm usually seen playing Ascension, so we could talk builds and just hang out over there. Thanks so much. I'll see you all in the next video.